This is the 2026 Range Rover P530 standard wheelbase. Is it the ultimate luxury SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Land Rover of Shreveport. If you want to know more about this Range Rover, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here on the front end, you are going to have your full LED lighting. That's going to include your LED turn signal indicators, your LED daytime running lights, and your LED low and high beams. Your headlights will also find down here on the lower portion of the bumper with what I think is, well, if you can call it, a luxurious look for your fog lights down here. It doesn't have just that typical round light down there like so many vehicles do. It really fits what we have here. This model has the nickel Atlas package, and as far as the finishes go with the upper and the lower grille and our lettering with the Range Rover logo up here, it's not gloss black. So for those of you that want something a little different, it has a gloss gray finish to it, but I think that still gets the job done. This model will come standard all-wheel drive, so no matter what, you're going to have that all-wheel drive situation. It's going to help you out in low traction situations. Low traction launch, you're going to have air ride suspension, and as we work our way around here, we're going to take a look at what are the optional 22-inch wheels. I know someone's going to say, those are 21-inch wheels. Well, those are the standard wheels. These are the optional 21-inch wheels, or excuse me, 22-inch wheels. Let's get those numbers correct. And as we take a look at our side view mirrors, here is some gloss black, but still going to get the job done. It looks nice. Turn signal indicators built in. They're heated. They're power adjustable. Blind spot monitoring built in. And as you can see, they are also going to be power folding. We'll have our deployable door handles right here. That's going to help with your aerodynamics, and it makes everything look nice. You're also going to have your button right here for passive entry. Here is your remote lock, unlock. You can turn the headlights on and off, your locator lights ultimately, and open and close your power tailgate. Now, you don't have a remote start on the remote. It is available in the app. It has the walk-away feature. All of that is going to be here. We're going to have our dual shark fin antennas up top. Nice large windows, making it very easy to see everything when you're driving around. Panoramic sunroof will be up there. We'll finish things off back here with our LED tail lights, nice and bright. And something you'll also notice that I think works really well when it comes to a luxury SUV is that instead of having the exposed rear window wiper right here, that's going to be neatly tucked away inside of the rear roof spoiler. Under the hood, in my opinion, the best engine you can get, the 4.4 liter turbocharged V8. Here it is. We're going to let you see what's underneath all that plastic. 523 horsepower, 553 pounds-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60, 4.4 seconds out of this 4.4 liter V8. Top speed is 155 miles per hour. And how about your MPGs? We're going to run around here to the window sticker. I'm just going to tell you what they are because it's going to be very difficult to see, but we're looking at 16 city, 23 highway, 19 combined, and 5.3 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And your gas tank details. The size is going to be 23.8 gallons. You will not have capless fuel fill, but instead a gas cap, which I think is more popular among most owners. You should be able to drive about 452 miles on a single tank of gas in the city and about 547 miles out on the highway. You can tow up to 8,200 pounds, which is a very respectable number with this Range Rover. You will find your split tailgate back here if that's something you're interested in taking advantage of. I like it because you can use it in a multitude of ways, but if you just want to sit back here after dark, the good thing is that right up here we have the lighting that's already angled down towards you in this area. And how about cargo space? Let's give you those numbers real fast. We're looking at 40.7 up to 83.5 cubic feet. As far as your cargo space goes, you can see the cargo cover is in place. This is removable. So if you want to put something in here and take advantage of all that space, you can take that out. And as far as maximizing cargo space, we're going to have the two switches right here. Now this is what's going to lower the rear seats. So I'm just going to push those. I don't have to hold them down. That's a nice convenience, and you can see it takes a few seconds for them to go down all the way, but they are going to fold down, well, as flat as they possibly can. And then let's do this. I'm just going to pull on that one time and they'll start to come back up. Now I'm going to let my cameraman come back here and show you how high the rear of this Range Rover is as far as its angle. It's sitting up pretty high on the air ride suspension. And as I hold the button down, you're going to see that the air suspension will start to lower. Get that to start going down for us. You can't really hear it, but I can hear the air being released and the rear is going down. It does it somewhat quickly, which is nice and convenient. So depending on your situation for offloading or loading, or if you're really tall, you can always raise this up for your tailgating. One more thing before we hop into the back seat is the soft close doors are also here, so make sure you close that just a little bit. That will be on your rear and your front doors. Just a nice little convenience. All right, let's talk about the plentiful space here in the back seat. It's obviously not all that is here, but one thing you can see is that these rear seats do recline. So I have this one back and mine up a little bit, and that's all controlled right here via the control right there. We've got that on both sides. You're going to have quite a few different controls here as far as what you can do. I can open the panoramic sunroof with one of the buttons that's on there. We'll show you that. We're opening the shade right here just so you can see that happening. We do have the nice large area in the front that does open and close if you want to take advantage of that. Now, as far as the controls on the door panel, besides moving the seat backs back and forth for recline, you can also control the radio. You can turn that on and off right there. You can also control the power shade, or you can roll the window up and down. And I'm going to show you on my window right here the shade. So all I'm going to do is just pull up on that button right there, and up goes the privacy shade. So you've got one on each door just so you can see that right there. We're going to lower that back down. Now, for those of you that are, say, in real estate or something like that, where you need to wear a jacket on a regular basis, a suit jacket, something like that, you might need something kind of like this. You could actually hang your jacket on there if you wanted to. There's actually quite a few different options as far as the accessories that can be plugged in back here, put in place. That works really well. Rear seat pockets, something simple on the back of the seat. We'll also have the illuminated door sill down there. You won't be able to see that, I don't think, right now. It may pick up the LED lighting, but it's there. On the rear of the center console, we'll find two of the air conditioning vents located here in the rear seating area and the controls for air conditioning. The third and fourth zones of climate control, so you can control that. Let me go back here. Here's where the fan speed is going to be. We can go right there and we can push in on that, and that allows us to control the temperature. Or we can push in one more time and we can turn on our heated seats, or we can go all the way over here and turn on the ventilated seats. A lot of great functionality there. A few more controls as far as what you can do with the air conditioning. We're going to have a lot of connectivity down here. There's your power outlet. We have a 12-volt power outlet and a couple of USB ports. And as we work our way back up here, you're going to have the oh crap handle, the reading lights, and there is that additional air conditioning vent I was telling you about. It's going to be on both sides. How about the sticker price? When you see somebody asking what the sticker price is down in the comment section, don't tell them that it's $153,255. Tell them to watch the video the same way you did. Let's see what else you get for that price. We'll start with the upper console. Obviously, you're going to have your lighting up here as far as your reading lights go. Here's how you open and close the power shade for the sunroof from the driver's compartment, and here's how you open and close the sunroof itself. You will have a automatic dimming rear view mirror, and right under here, these buttons, that's not braille underneath there. If you actually run your fingers on there, it's just going to have 1, 2, and 3 dots, and that is your home link so that you can program in your garage door openers. I know a lot of you who own Range Rovers have at least 2 or 3 garage doors, don't you? Let's see what else is on the passenger side over here. We're going to have the lower glove box right there, a little bit of space in there with a nice felt material, so it's nice and comfortable. And then we have the upper glove box right here. And let's see if we can close that, get that sticker out of the way real quick. Teamwork gets the job done, right? And we're going to go over here to the passenger side, or driver's side door panel, I should say. A lot of space. We didn't talk about the size of the armrest and the door bin, but they're very plentiful on the front and rear doors. You're going to have seat memory not only here on the driver's side, but guess what? Also over there on the passenger side. That's a good thing, especially this price point. It should be that way. And then you can control everything with your side view mirrors right there, your windows, and then we're going to find the power parking brake right here. If you want to adjust the steering wheel, here is the control to do that. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable. You can adjust that however you need to. Here is your heated steering wheel button. Everything for adaptive cruise control is going to be here. You've got your shifter paddles on the back and everything for adjusting what you see with the driver's display. You can go in here and make quite a few adjustments depending on what you want to do. You can see your HUD settings right there. You can go up and see that right there. I hope it shows up well. It isn't a good day to do that because it's overcast, but it is here. It is nice and bright, obviously adjustable, and depending on what you want to see, you can make adjustments accordingly with everything. A very comfortable steering wheel, by the way. I really like that. Your controls for your front and rear window wipers on the right-hand side, and over here we control the headlights and fog lights. We can turn all that on and off, and our turn signal indicators are also controlled right there. Something that I really like, the 13.1-inch Pivi Pro infotainment screen is going to be right here. That is going to get the job done for you. It looks elegant. That's one thing I really like. It fits. Navigation is here. You can connect your phone. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can manage the radio, all of that. And check out this. We're going to have the slope assist right here. So depending on what's going on with the vehicle, you can see everything you need to know. It'll give you everything with your degrees, and you can see the suspension and what's going on with that. When I turn the front wheels, you'll see those turning. All that good stuff is here. You have your low traction launch, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Here are your driving modes. You're going to have comfort. You can just go to auto and let the vehicle pick for you accordingly. Grass, gravel, and snow. Mud and ruts, sand. We're going to have rock crawl mode. Wade, and then we're also going to have your configurable right here where you can come in and do a lot of individual settings depending on what you want to do. Here are your different settings as far as that goes. So if you're with your differentials, you can come in here and determine what's going on there. The powertrain, you can do the same thing depending on how you want it to work. Your steering can be light, medium, or heavy. So believe it or not, contrary to what a lot of people may say, these Range Rovers are very capable off-road. Now the ride height, depending on what you want to do, we can go to access and you won't be able to feel it going down like we can, but we can feel the air suspension lowering the Range Rover we're sitting in right here. Or we can go right here to off-road if we want to. Now one thing to note about that is when you get up to, I believe it's 15 miles per hour, it's going to return to stock ride height. It won't just stay there. It's for low speed situations. And here is your wade sensing. So if you need to drive through some water, it's going to let you know what goes on. These are extremely capable off-road and will do a lot more than most people realize, even though they probably won't ever do that with them. But you can see everything else that we have here as far as our different features go. There's a lot going on, that's for sure. And if you want to see your icons, here is everything as far as that goes. You've got your built-in navigation. You've got everything here for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And how about your different camera views? There are views for every potential situation you're potentially going to deal with. We can hit everything here. We can look around from the front to the rear. We can go back to our front camera if we want to do that. If you hit 3D, it's going to go back to that view right there in case you were wondering what was going on. You do have park assist here, and then we also have the off-road view right there. If you want to take a look at that, and then you also have your hill start or hill launch assist, as it's called. It's not hill start assist, it just sounds cooler. And you can also have that invisible hood style view so you can see without the hood being in the way right here. And that's going to let you see again when you're turning the front wheels. And we've got all of that working for us right there. Now, we'll go over here to settings. Show you a little bit of what's going on there. Now I'm going to leave the theme on dark, but you can change it to light. You can turn the screens off. You can go to your haptic feedback and turn that on and off. And if you're wondering what that is, notice that now you don't hear anything. See that? I'm going to go back here. That is what haptic is. That's what that means in case you weren't sure. Now, if you want to change the audio and adjust the treble, the bass, or the subwoofer, here's where you're going to do that. You've got all your different options right here as far as that goes. One thing I did want to show you as far as your air conditioning goes, you might have noticed when I showed you these seat controls, there was no lumbar support. That doesn't mean it isn't here. This is where it is located. we're going to go down here to adjust, and you're going to see it right there. There is lumbar support. You also have the headrest adjustments, bolstering, and the cushion. So a lot of adjustability built in here, depending on what you need to do as far as that goes. If you want to fold all of your seats, you can do that at one time. We can go to chauffeur right here if we want to and make selections where that's concerned, and that will give your rear seat passengers a little more space as far as that goes. And how about vehicle? Let's go right here. In fact, there's a couple of different things I can show you right here. Now you'd have brake hold mode, that's auto brake hold. You come to a complete stop when that is activated. That is activated when it's highlighted in brown like that. We change the color, and that means you come to a complete stop. It will not move again. It'll keep the brakes locked until you touch the gas pedal. You can turn the auto stop start on and off. I think you get the idea of what's going on here. We've got all of our different driving modes here that we can choose from if we want to. And then we come back out of here. There are other ways to do this, another way to do this, and here is where that is located, right here. So depending on what you want to do, you can turn things on and off, max AC. You can turn the auto stop start on and off. You can also come right here, and that will give you all of those different driving modes and the options where those are concerned. Now, I'm going to close that just so you can see what's going on here. A nice cover to keep everything concealed away for your USB port and your wireless charging pad. That's going to work nicely. The shifter fits perfectly in my hand. I really like that. And right next to that is going to be the button to start and stop the engine. Now, kind of a multitasking area right here. Cup holders, but we can move that back. There is another USB port right down here, and quite a bit of storage. When you stick your hand down in there, you can feel that it actually goes underneath the area where that USB port is, or you can just leave the cup holders just like that. Now you have the armrests built into the seats themselves, but I like to use the center console lid as an armrest. That works well for me. Get this out of the way. You have your refrigerated console right here. So you have two different options for that. You have low and high as far as that goes. You can see that everything illuminates in there to let you know that the cooling process has started. And for those of you that like to hear what the radio sounds like, the stereo in this case, you have the Meridian 3D sound system. Here's a quick sampling for you. I hope that does a good job for you. It definitely sounds great in person. I hope that my microphone does it justice. As we get out on the road for the test drive, one thing I did not mention earlier in the video is that you have four-wheel steering. So a lot of benefits going on here. That's going to help you out with a little bit tighter turning radius. And while this is not the long wheelbase version of the Range Rover, it still is fairly long. And so anything to help out with that for those tighter situations will definitely be a benefit. That's something that's really nice about these Range Rovers. If you live in those low traction situation more times out of the year than not, experiences such as with a lot of snow and ice, well, guess what? You can take advantage of the capabilities of these Range Rovers. You may not go off-road or anything like that, but it's going to help you on-road as much as it will off-road when it comes to the all-wheel drive system and the way that it works. A wonderful experience as far as the ride quality goes because of the air ride suspension, and the seats themselves are ultra comfortable too. Plenty of room in the front and back seats. Everybody is going to be nice and comfortable. Now we're going to let this vehicle pass right here, and then I will make a quick legal U-turn and we will get going again. I hit this real fast, and now we have a little bit of a chance to test the acceleration just a little bit, not much, because I really don't want to get on it too hard with this brand new motor under the hood. One of you might be coming in to buy it. I don't want you to be upset with me because I pushed your new vehicle too hard too soon. But It does accelerate quickly. That 4.4 0 to 60 is pretty impressive, and there have been some sources that claimed as quick as 4.3 seconds, but we're not going to be able to test that today, unfortunately. I do like the space here for the driver's area. A lot of adjustability here, so anybody of any height should be just fine adjusting the seat and the steering wheel position to where you are happy. I like the nice bright head-up display. It gets the job done. And one thing that I use, like I said, is I like to use the center console lid as an armrest. You can use the armrests that are built into the seats, but when you have them down, it makes it difficult to buckle your seat belt. So that's one thing to consider. You might have to move that out of the way in that situation. But overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. It has a very responsive and easy to learn brake and gas pedal. The brake pedal is not overly aggressive, although the brakes do a great job. But when you get in, you're not going to be brake checking yourself or your passengers because it takes that much adjusting to. So a good situation with that. Everything here definitely gets high marks, but I am curious to know, is there something that is not here that you believe should be? And there it is, the 2026 Range Rover P530 standard wheelbase. Is it the ultimate luxury SUV? Tell me what you think down in the comments based on the information I shared in today's video. Definitely a front runner, that's for sure. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning us this Range Rover for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That is very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.